and welcome back. Getting right into today's video, I recently did Isabel Styles' tag of 10 pieces that you would repurchase right away if you were to lose your luxury collection. And as I mentioned in that video, my collection at the moment is very curated. I tend to do a lot of research before adding most of the luxury pieces that I have in my collection, and that is the primary reason why I also started my channel. I wanted to be able to share my thoughts, my opinions, kind of let you know the good and the bad, honest reviews about these pieces in case you guys are considering them as well. So that leads me into the video that I am filming today, and that is actually the pieces that if I were to go back in the time of purchasing them, knowing what I know now that I have had them for a little bit, I would not have added them into my collection. Now keep in mind, this doesn't fall in the category of regrets and pieces that I'm considering selling. I'm glad that I have them in my collection and I do enjoy them and use them. But if I were to go back in time, would I have spent the money on these pieces? The answer is no. So let's start off with a bang, and that is going to be my Keepaw from Louis Vuitton in the size 45. Now the size 45 is the largest option that you do have in order to use as a personal item in cabin. So I opted to get this one because most of the time my husband and I just decide to travel with a carry-on and then a personal item. For the most part, I had always taken my largest Longchamp as my personal item, but I wanted something with a little bit more space in order to do some more shopping abroad. Now, keeping the shopping in mind, this is a pretty uncomfortable piece to pack. I just feel like the shape of the Keepaw itself is more designed for clothing pieces or just pieces that you can really play around with a little bit more on how to place them inside. I have been abroad and I've bought my Celine luggage. I've also gotten my Fendi Can I, my Burberry derby tote, and in order to pack those pieces, I didn't get them all at once, but let's say I had the Fendi Can I and the Burberry derby tote in the same trip. And when I wanted to go ahead and pack those pieces in here, they took up a lot of space from the Keepaw, not giving me enough room to pack everything else that I just previously had taken on the trip on my Longchamp Le Pliage tote in that case. So I do feel like the layout of this piece, unfortunately, doesn't allow you to have the most potential possible for the size that it does offer. I am not rich, you guys. I have added these pieces over many years. And as I mentioned, I try to do as much research as possible before I decide to add a specific piece, just to make sure that I am going to use it. I am also a huge advocate that if you are going to get something to baby it, then maybe that is not the right piece for you. And I honestly was considering the travel luggage piece from Longchamp, but when I bought this one, my husband actually added the same piece in the Damier Graphite, which he had been wanting personally. I just got carried away in the moment and then also wanted to add one myself. Now, why do I say that I wouldn't have purchased it going back in time? It's simply because even though the Damier Ben, I've told you guys a million times before, I believe is one of the most carefree canvases from the Louis Vuitton fashion house, it is still a luxury travel piece. And at the end of the day, when you are traveling, there's so much going on that the last thing I personally want to be worrying about is making sure that I don't bump this into something or that I don't throw it on top of something and it's going to get dirty and stained that I might not be able to remove it. Even though it is a pretty dark canvas and for the most part she has been really good to me, every time I travel I still have that little bit of stress, if we can call it, in the back of my mind of making sure that I take care of this piece. So those are my reasons as to why I would go back and not repurchase this piece. I would have preferred to put that money towards a handbag in which I could have a little bit more control over. Now before we move on to our next item, as I had previously mentioned in that tag video, I think that these videos, whether it's to point out the positive of things or whether it is to go a little bit on the negative side, are great for those of you that are researching certain pieces to add into your collection to build that sort of classic curated collection. And I personally really enjoy sharing review with you guys of all the pieces that I have been able to add into my collection over the years and being very thorough and honest in regards to my review. So if you do enjoy that type of content, I would love for you to consider subscribing down below. I do have a goal in mind of reaching 30 3,500 subscribers by the time I hit 35. That is at the end of June, so we do have a couple of months to go, and I do feel like it is a very attainable goal with the help of you guys. Now moving on to the second item, which I would probably go back in time and definitely say no to that purchase, and those are luxury sneakers. Now, I not only have one, but two, so let me explain myself. I think luxury sneakers can be very cute if you want to have them sort of as an accessory to your outfit, kind of completing your whole look. I did add these Burberry ones because I loved the detail that they do have on the side. And for the most part, I am a very casual dresser, so I thought that they would be very fun to pair with my very simple looks. And then these, I definitely got carried away. I've mentioned it before. We were in the Burberry outlet in Florence. They had a great price and my husband bought a pair, so I kind of wanted to do a little matchy-matchy moment. I don't know if you guys are picking up, but I get influenced very easily by my husband. So I went ahead and added these all plain white ones. He does have the same ones with the Burberry accent piece here in the back. So these two are my current luxury sneakers, but they are both just so uncomfortable and really not worth it whatsoever in my opinion. You probably can be a sneaker collector and feel like these would be a good piece to add into your personal collection. Comfort wise, I would definitely go more of a route towards sneakers that are known to provide comfort. Kohan, Allbirds, even Nike sneakers. I recently added some. Let me show you. It's these here. I had actually been wanting some with kind of like the gum sole and a little bit of suede detailing, but at the same time keeping them minimal with the whole white look. So I found these in Nike. Something like this is totally worth it, and these were under $100. Now getting back to luxury sneakers, you're talking about $250 and over $500 on these. And as I said, it's just an accessory that for me personally isn't worth the price point. I like wearing sneakers from time to time, but I am definitely more of a sandals kind of gal. So these totally do not get their cost per wear whatsoever in my closet. Moving on to item number 3 on this list, and this one might come to you guys as a little bit of a surprise because I raved about it so much when I did add it, and that is my Polène number 9 in the mini size. I stick with what I said in regards to this being one of the most unique handbags in my collection and that Polène has to offer. I feel like the silhouette of the handbag is just so cute. It's very different from anything that you see out there. So in that matter, I definitely love this piece and I'm glad that I have it in my collection. However, if I was going back to that time that I was shopping in the Polène boutique over in Paris, this would probably be left behind, and that is simply due to the fact that the opening is so extremely fussy, you guys. It is a pain to get in and out of this bag. This handle right here just makes it very uncomfortable for you to maneuver your things. I have tried putting absolutely no pouches inside. I have tried doing minimal pouches, and no matter how it is that I choose to carry this handbag, it is just a very uncomfortable bag to have. In my opinion, I honestly think that it could possibly be one of the most impractical bags that Polène has to offer. Just like the sneakers, this is more of a accessory to finish off your look. Now, don't get me wrong, I have the micro, which I recently added. I actually went to the Polène boutique in New York and I did a whole video in regards to that boutique compared to the Paris boutique. I know that this bag is impractical. I mean, it barely fits anything, and even with that being said, it actually fits what I need to carry whenever I do decide to use this bag. However, the Polène number 9 was a total surprise because it is a pretty decent size. Let me put this down. It is a pretty decent size, so I expected to be able to fit my essentials like a mini pochette, my sunglasses, my phone. You cannot. Just keep in mind that if you put them in there, then you're probably not going to be able to take them out until you make it home. Just because it is, once again, a little bit of a complicated opening. The inside of the bag has a good space in order to carry your pieces, but if your pieces are longer, you do have to put them in at an angle. Then they end up taking space, so anything else that you add into the bag is just a little bit more uncomfortable to maneuver inside. So for that reason, I do feel like I would definitely leave this one behind if I was at the store again considering to add her. Now the last two pieces are going to be bags, and they do have something in common, which is the color black, but that is not the reason why I wouldn't add them into my collection. Let's start off with the Fendi Can I, and if you are an OG viewer of mine, you definitely know why I would probably not add this specific handbag, and that is due to the smooth leather. I have learned that smooth leather and I are just not going to get along. In my opinion, I do think that you need to care for a smooth leather piece a lot more than, let's say, a textured leather handbag or small leather good. It is definitely prone to show wear a lot quicker than a textured leather as well. And this handbag in particular, I would definitely love to re-add. I love using my Fendi Can I. I love the scallop detail of this handbag. It makes it very girly and chic. And that is one of the reasons why I didn't mind adding it in the black, because I felt like it added that little feminine touch. So the handbag as a whole, I really like that I added into my collection. It's different from what I do have. And when I do grab her and use her, I realize how much I enjoy it. But in the back of my mind, there's always that little worry of make sure that you take care of it, May. Be careful you don't bump into things. And we go back to adding things into our collection that we need to baby, and then it just takes away from the whole enjoyment of the piece. So that is the primary and only reason why, if I were to go back in the time that I purchased this one, I would have opted for a textured leather rather than the smooth. Now the last piece in this video that I would probably not repurchase, knowing what I know today, is my Aria belt bag from Sunred. And the only reason that I wouldn't is due to the croc embossing. I have brought this up in previous videos that I have filmed. I love the layout of this handbag. I think it is a very comfortable handbag to carry, but I wanted this bag to do too many things for me at once, and it just didn't work out. You can style this bag in various ways. You have a belt bag option, you have a crossbody. You can also add a chain to it, making it a little bit dressier. I went on this like crocodile embossed or dragon embossed, as it is noted on their website, kind of rabbit hole, and I just wanted to add a piece in my collection. However, as I have tried to incorporate her with my personal style, I do feel like the croc embossing is a little bit too harsh. It does look nice when I go more towards a dressier look, but as I previously said, I tend to dress really casual. And even if I'm going out for a night out, I tend to do jeans, maybe a pair of heels, a blazer, a nice top. So this croc embossed bag, it's just too elegant for that type of situation. I have worn her maybe a handful of times, and that is because I maybe put together a specific outfit that's dressier than my typical look, and I tell myself, make sure you use your Sunred bag, so I go ahead and grab her. But ultimately, with the croc embossing, it is just a bag that I just don't naturally gravitate to. Now, as I said, the Aria belt bag as a whole, I think is a great silhouette to have into your collection. I do like that you have so many ways to style it also. It makes it that much easier to grab and incorporate really when you're putting outfits together. But for me personally, it's just the croc embossing that really holds me back anytime that I want to grab and use her. However, knowing what I know now and the struggles I have in order to pair her with some of my looks, I would just go back and add her in a different leather combination. Alright guys, so that does it for the video. Those were my 2 cents, sort of a little mini review of pieces that I have in my collection that I am not considering getting rid of. I do enjoy them from time to time. However, if I were to go back in time at the moment that I was purchasing them, knowing everything that I know now that I've used them a little bit, I would definitely pass up and probably go towards a different option. Let me know if you have any piece in your collection that you feel this way about. Now, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and help me reach my goal of 3,500 subscribers. I will leave 2 other videos for you guys to check out next, and as always, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to watch today. I hope to catch you in my next one. Bye everyone.